Hello and welcome to the late weekend pandemic update video for Sunday, November 6, 2022. Not a whole lot of news this weekend on the pandemic. However, there is news on regarding flu this weekend, which we're going to get to later in the video. So let's just start off with the community transmission map from the CDC. I don't know if this is still a daily updating product. It could be also one of the things that are now weekly from the CDC. Remember, the CDC ended daily reporting. So let's just run through the transmissions here. High transmission 46.68%, substantial 26.27%, 21.34% is moderate, and 5.71% is low. So high is still dominating at this time. And taking a look at the variant proportions, we won't go through them all, but just know that BA.5 subvariant is dropping in percentage, and we are still in a blunder of variants right now with BA.5, BQ1.1, and BQ.1 starting to pick up steam. 4.6, it's still out there, but it's not gaining any ground anymore. BF.7 also, again, not really gaining ground anymore. It's the BQ1.1 and BQ.1 that are really gaining ground at this time. Alright, today's cases, we don't have many. 10,681. Majority of states do not update on the weekends. That's where we're at, and a large portion of it, especially on Saturdays, is because of the CDC switching to weekly reports. Deaths this weekend, 15 new deaths added, 94,404 testing conducted. Hospitalizations, 26,728 people in the hospital. That's down by 207. Currently in ICU, 3,160. That's down by 46. As you can see here on the map here, the percentage map, there are a lot of areas rising. But with places not reporting over the weekend, this does get flawed. So, which states do we have? New York State, 3,991 cases. New Jersey, 5,502 cases. That is a ton of cases. I don't know if that's today's number or yesterday's number, because this didn't do the refresh for the total yet, but either way, even if that's Saturday or Sunday, that's a lot of cases for New Jersey, and that does rise them by 11.4%. So we need to keep an eye on that, because we know the BQ subvariants are rising there. Puerto Rico, 961 cases. Connecticut, 227 cases. And that's it for states today. Like I said, not a lot of states. Alright, New York State again, 3,991 cases, 5.9% positivity. So I am watching New York State positivity closely, and it'll be interesting to see if that does indeed continue to rise. And I do think at some point New York State positivity will go back to double digits, probably around the holidays, which would be after Thanksgiving. Hospitalizations in New York. New York State has 2,804 people hospitalized on the last update, and 303 people in the ICU. Taking a look at HHS hospitalizations. Let's do that real quickly, shall we? Currently, there are 27,181 people in the hospital. 77.36% of all beds in this country are currently being used. 3.87% of the beds are being used for coronavirus. Switching over to the Walgreens map. The national positivity on Walgreens is 29.2%. That is up from 28.4% in the prior week. That's a difference of 0.8%. And testing has finally come back up again to 37,103. But we won't really see if that causes an effect on the positivity or not until the coming days. We'll have to see if the testing can hopefully get back above 40,000 again. But let's just go through a few states, because there's a couple here in particular that are concerning. Alabama, 28.8%. Look at that rapid rise. Mississippi, 23.9%. Again, a rapid rise. Delaware's concerning. Whoa, Delaware's now up to 42.7%. I'm actually just first seeing this. That's a 16.5% increase. And what neighbors Delaware? New Jersey does. I mean, of course, the only way you can get from Delaware to New Jersey is you either come up through Pennsylvania going to New Jersey or go across Delaware Memorial Bridge. But that's really interesting, considering we just saw New Jersey has really high cases. So, brings us to the next question. What's going on in Pennsylvania? Yeah, Pennsylvania's up a little bit, 3.9% increase, and there's an increase in testing, so Pennsylvania's at 31.1% positivity, and that is interesting to see. Let's do a couple more here. Iowa, 26.6%. Texas, 22.5%. California, what's going on there? California's starting to rise faster now, 31.1% with a 4.5% increase, and we'll do one more. How about South Carolina? 27.4%. And overall, as you can see, majority of the Northeast states are dropping with exceptions to Maine. But Delaware is something we're going to have to watch. Texas and California, also something to watch, and Alabama and Mississippi. So that's relatively interesting. And the South gets interesting, and I'll show you why in a minute. First off, Texas, 974 people in the hospital with a 6.21% positivity rate. And their positivity rate has bottomed out and has risen ever so slightly. So we'll have to watch what happens there. All right, flu. Now you're going to see some stuff interesting here. Green represents minimal cases. Purple represents very high cases. And here's the deal with the purple color. This is the first time the purple color has ever been shown on the map. They have never used it before, as far as I know. And what's also interesting is, look at the Northwest and the Central Plains, the Northern Plains. Green, not a lot of cases of flu there. But look at the Southeast, especially Tennessee, Alabama, and South Carolina. We have extremely high number of cases of flu, and probably a very high positivity rate, because how many people actually get tested for the flu? I mean, before coronavirus, did you ever get tested for many things? Most people did not. The average person didn't. And the most people who are getting tested for flu are either doing it from their doctor's office, the emergency room, or urgent care. It's not like they're using an at-home test. Although, there are now at-home tests for flu, which can, these multi-universal tests, I guess you could call them, where it can detect whether it's COVID or flu. Don't know how accurate it is. We're not getting into that into this video. Maybe at some point down the line we'll do another video on that, just for the heck of it. But you can also see Texas is going up. But then you look at the Great Lakes, like the southern Great Lakes, like Illinois, Indiana, Ohio. Parts of the Northeast, not New England, but parts of the Northeast are starting to rise. New Jersey's really starting to rise, so you would think this is going to spread north faster. And what's interesting is, usually the Northeast would get hit hardest first. So, the fact the South is really getting hit hard first, that's telling me something. We know for coronavirus, the South is pretty much the most unvaccinated portion of the country. So there's a good chance a lot of people have had coronavirus and have had symptomatic cases. Did that wreck their immunity, and is this causing flu to be more severe? Number one, more severe down there. And is it more transmissible because how many people just have weakened immune systems from catching a coronavirus infection? I honestly don't have the answer for that, but I'm speculating because the South has been hit so hard from coronavirus throughout the pandemic. Maybe that's why flu is spreading faster down there first, but honestly, that's just pure speculation. I don't know, but something is up. And if you're like living in the Northwest or the North Central states, pay attention. Because eventually I got a feeling this is going to be spreading throughout the rest of the country. And it's going to put a tremendous strain on the hospital system. And this is something we have to watch very closely, because we still have coronavirus going around. We now have flu, and we know it's getting bad in kids. RSV is going around, and unfortunately RSV, there's no vaccine coming till at some point next year. So, hold off for that. But, for flu, we do have a vaccine. Is it perfect? Is it going to stop all cases? No, it's not. But you know what? It's going to make the severity of your case much better. So if you haven't gotten a flu vaccine yet, I can raise my hand and say I haven't. I'm going to in the next week or two. Join me. Go out there and get a flu shot. And if you need your bivalent COVID vaccine, go out and do that too. Alright. That's all I have for this weekend's pandemic update video, and flu update, for that matter. Please remember to wear a mask everywhere you go, and hit like and subscribe down below if you want to see more videos like this. Stay safe, everyone. Have a great week.